For some players, a World Cup is more than a tournament. It is the dream they have carried since childhood, the stage they imagined standing on long before they became professionals. As the 2026 World Cup approaches, a new generation prepares for its opportunity. But for others, the tournament means something very different. It may be the final chance to achieve the one goal that has escaped them throughout their careers. Time moves quickly in football, and even the greatest players eventually run out of opportunities. That is why every World Cup carries a unique emotional weight, especially for those who know there may never be another one. The World Cup has a power unlike anything else in football. League titles can be won again the following season. Continental trophies can offer another opportunity a year later. But the World Cup arrives only once every 4 years. A single injury, a failed qualification campaign, or a loss at the wrong moment can end a dream forever. Many legends have discovered this reality too late. They believed there would always be another chance, only to watch time take that opportunity away. That is why the road to 2026 already feels different for many of football's biggest stars. Football history is filled with stories of players who came close to World Cup glory but never reached it. Some lifted every trophy available at club level, yet never experienced success on the international stage. Others carried entire nations on their shoulders, but fell one step short of immortality. The difference between celebration and heartbreak is often decided by a single moment. One goal, one save, one mistake, or one decision can change everything. The players preparing for 2026 understand this better than anyone, because they know that opportunities like this do not last forever. As fans around the world count down the months until the tournament begins, players are preparing for what could become the defining chapter of their careers. Training sessions become more important. Every international match carries greater meaning. Every season is viewed through the lens of what might happen in 2026. The pressure grows with every passing month because football careers are short. Even the greatest names in the game cannot stop time. Eventually, every player faces the same question. If this is the final World Cup, will they be remembered for success or for what could have been? For some stars, 2026 may represent the last opportunity to complete their story. They have already won trophies, broken records, and inspired millions of supporters across the world. Yet one achievement still remains out of reach. The World Cup has always been football's ultimate prize, and lifting it can transform a legendary career into an immortal one. That is why this tournament carries such significance. It is not simply another competition. It is the stage where dreams are fulfilled, legacies are defined, and years of sacrifice are finally put to the ultimate test. As the tournament gets closer, the pressure on experienced players begins to increase in a way that cannot be ignored. Every performance is now analyzed through the lens of what it might mean for 2026. A single mistake feels heavier than before, and every success feels more important. Coaches and fans start asking the same question repeatedly. Can they still perform at the highest level when it matters the most? For some, this World Cup is not just another competition. It is a final test of ability, mentality, and resilience under extreme pressure. Many players who once dominated world football now find themselves facing time itself. Speed decreases, recovery takes longer, and younger talents begin to emerge behind them. Yet experience still plays a powerful role on the biggest stage. The World Cup is not only about physical strength, but also about intelligence and decision-making. That is why some veterans refuse to step aside. They believe they still have something to offer. For them, 2026 is not about proving the world wrong, but about proving to themselves that they still belong at the top level. For younger players, the 2026 World Cup represents something completely different. It is the beginning of their legacy, rather than the end. While experienced stars see it as a final chance, emerging talents see it as an introduction to the world stage. This contrast creates a unique dynamic inside every squad. One group fighting to preserve history, the other fighting to create it. The tournament becomes a meeting point of generations, where experience and youth collide under the same spotlight, each trying to leave their own mark on football history. In football, pressure often reveals the true nature of greatness. Some players rise when everything is on the line, while others struggle under expectation. The World Cup has always been the ultimate test of this difference. As 2026 approaches, discussions about leadership, mentality, and responsibility become more important than ever. Teams do not only need skill, they need players who can handle the emotional weight of representing an entire nation. That responsibility cannot be measured in statistics. It is something that only becomes visible when the moment arrives. As history has shown many times, World Cups often create stories that define entire careers in just a few matches. A single tournament can turn a player into a national hero, or leave them with a lifelong sense of what could have been. That is why the journey to 2026 feels so significant. Everyone involved understands that opportunities at this level are rare and unpredictable. Once the tournament begins, everything changes quickly. Dreams are either realized or lost in a matter of weeks. And for some players, this may be the final chapter they ever write on football's biggest stage. As the final countdown to the 2026 World Cup begins, emotions inside the football world become stronger than ever. Every national team selection, every injury update, and every performance is now seen as part of a much bigger picture. For some players, just being included in the squad represents years of sacrifice and dedication. For others, it is the final opportunity to step onto the biggest stage in football history. The difference between being selected and being left out can define how an entire career is remembered. When the tournament finally begins, everything outside the pitch starts to disappear. Pressure, expectations, and history all collide in a few decisive moments. Players who were once criticized can become heroes overnight, while others struggle under the weight of expectation. The World Cup has always been unpredictable, and that is what makes it so powerful. No matter how strong a team looks on paper, the reality of the tournament often tells a completely different story once the first whistle is blown and the journey begins. For some players, 2026 will represent the final chapter of their international careers. Years of dedication, training, and sacrifice will come down to a few matches that decide everything. Some will succeed and leave the game with glory, while others will fall short and carry the memory for the rest of their lives. That is the nature of football at the highest level. It rewards preparation, but it also demands perfection at the exact moment it matters most. There are no second chances once the opportunity has passed. As the final whistle approaches for many careers, the meaning of the World Cup becomes even clearer. It is no longer just about preparation or expectations. It is about legacy. Every player understands that what happens in this tournament will follow them forever. One performance can define how they are remembered for generations. That is why 2026 carries such emotional weight. For some, it is the last opportunity to be part of football history at the highest level, before time closes the door on their international journey. And when everything is over, only memories will remain. Some will look back at success and glory, others at missed chances and what could have been. But all of them will share one truth. They were part of a World Cup where everything was on the line. One last chance to change everything. One final moment to be remembered. In football, opportunities do not last forever. And for some players, 2026 will be the moment their story reaches its final chapter on the world's biggest stage.